Level with me. Is BARDLOCK a logical multiclass? Hello and welcome to Level With Me, the YouTube channel where we can level up our TTRPG experience together. My name is Will, and today we're going to be discussing the BARDLOCK. The BARDLOCK, to my newer D&D playing mind, is one of the most well-known multiclasses, because, well, it has a ship name. That's why I'm thinking it's the most common. Like, I'm sure a rogue monk multiclass would go well together, but what would their ship name be? A ronk. It's the first time I said it out loud. Must read script before filming. But before we jump into the video, this table works on shared experience, so any tips, tricks or thoughts on the subject, leave them in the comments section below to dish out some XP to the other players in our community. So why would that monk and rogue work well together? Well, they're classes that both rely on a high dex score. Bard Warlock works well together because they are both charisma-based classes. But weirdly, they are charisma-based classes for completely different reasons. Bards are the life of the party. They are performers. They like to be liked, and they love to be loved. Read script before filming. Warlocks, on the other hand, will most likely be the death of the party. They will kill everyone in that room just to appease their patron. Warlocks are going to use their charisma for things more like intimidation, deception, or persuasion. Or, as I like to say for warlocks, coercion. Just making people do the things they know they shouldn't do. There, you know you got it. But the similarity for both classes is that they use their charisma modifier for their spell casting. And let's be honest, warlocks are memed on for their lack of spell slots.
Did you have a nap today? I did!
However, what I could understand from the multiclassing page of fifthsrd.org, warlocks can use their pact magic spells for those multiclassing spell slots that become available. This is the quote from that website. If you have both the spell casting class feature and the pact magic class feature from the warlock class, you can use the spell slots you gain from the pact magic feature to cast spells you know or have prepared from the classes with the spell casting class feature, and can use the spell slots you gain from the spell casting class feature to cast warlock spells you know. So by the sounds of it, they are interchangeable. Also, try reading that quote 5 times as fast. That was the 4th take. From a roleplay perspective, I think a BARDLOCK would be fantastic to play. One is the life of the party, the other has a demonic pact to fulfill. The Venn diagram doesn't really cross there, does it? The bard behind the smile and the jokes and the laughter knows that secretly they have to fulfill the pact for their patron lest they suffer the consequences. They gotta carry out their dark duties behind the scenes. Now, let's remember here, not all warlocks have the devil horns and the black clouded eyes and the fangs. So for a player to suddenly release this information midway through a campaign that they have got a pact to fulfill, I think that would go down a storm with the other players and would also give the DM a lot to work with.
That is brand new information!
You already know, don't you?
A little bit.
So, can we make a decent backstory that can make multiclassing a bard and a warlock justifiable? I think we can. Otherwise it'd be a really stupid video, wouldn't it? No! The end! This video came about because I was re-listening to my favourite Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast, Dungeons and Daddies, sorry Matt Mercer, but let's be honest, Critical Role is just too long. That's 4 hours to scroll through if you lose your place. I fall asleep to podcasts, I can't scroll through that many hours of content, sorry. I'm sure he's really upset that I'm not a listener. In Dungeons & Daddies Season 1 Episode 8, The Battle Axe of Hatred, Glenn, one of the 4 bad dads, is tasked with stealing back a battle axe from a group of mercenaries, but, plot twist, this battle axe is an electric guitar. Axe as in axe as in instrument. I thought this was a very silly but clever way to bring in both Glenn's personality and Glenn's voice actor's personality, Freddie Wong, as well as the personality of their dungeon master. Anthony Birch. When the character of Glenn reaches out with the battle axe, he feels some sort of energy crawl out of him. The axe sounds like an electric guitar whose notes are made from the screams of pain and agony it's heard through the millennia. It is inhabited by a demon, and every time you use the battle axe of hatred as a melee weapon, you have to roll to see if it smashes and the demon is released. And I just thought, this screams Bardlock. Like I said, Bardlock is one of the most common multi-classes out there, and I think the Battle Axe of Hatred is the perfect way to make a justifiable Bardlock backstory. For this character, our race will be human, and I'll be multi-classing across 5 levels, 3 levels in Bard and 2 levels in Warlock. This means that we can choose our Bard College as well as our Eldritch Invocation to add some flavour to the character. So, let's create our Bardlock, but first we need a character, the name of a rock god. That's it. Schlack had just turned 18 and was starting to venture out into the Forgotten Realms, a talent for the loot since he was little, from putting performances on for his parents in his basement, to being the first to sign up to the school talent shows, to playing for loose change in the local tavern. The only thing is, he has no talent. See, Schlack's parents took the stance of, you can do anything you want to, Schlack, and as long as you try your hardest, well, that's all we can ask. And they never had the heart to tell him that he actually had no musical prowess. Editing Will here, I detuned the lute as a joke, and it sounds vile, so horrible, so we're going back to the classic lute. You are welcome. That sounded horrible. Now an adult, Schlack uses what little money he has to venture to neighbouring districts and towns to play at talent shows out there. However, the tavern's empty when he starts playing, and no love interest has ever fallen for one of his ballads. Coming into a chorus of, you just need to find the right crowd, sweetie, and one day there'll be a producer in the crowd waiting to snap you up for a contract. Just you wait. From his doubt-filled parents, reprising their feedback with a smile almost stapled on their faces at this point every time he returned with the bad news. Now 27, Schlack still lives with his parents at home, and his parents are now telling him that the blacksmith's hiring in the town. Maybe he should consider getting a real job. And I just realised I stopped performing last year. This is too close to home. Oh God, what have I done? But Schlack won't give up on his dreams like I did. That night, he knelt and prayed to Melil, the god of music, to bless him with musical talent unlike anyone else's. As he wished, a shooting star lit up his room, causing shadows to extend from his feet and into the darkness. And when the star passed, one shadow still remained. The shadow somehow stood by itself, detached from Schlack's body. It said its name was Nyx, and if Schlack would make a pact with him, then he would make Schlack a rock god. Schlack asked what Nyx wanted from this bargain, and Nyx replied, a corporeal body. Schlack agreed, and Nyx sank into the floor and slid across to his lute. The shadow contorted and twisted itself around the body, the fretboards, and the tuning pegs of the lute, varnishing this wooden instrument a black as deep as the night sky that evening. When Schlack picked up the instrument, he felt a surge of energy coursing through him, as if lightning was running through his veins. He gripped the fretboard, his knuckles white, his teeth clenched, as he ripped a venomous riff on the strings and let out a powerful vocal scream. And after that, it didn't take Schlack long to become renowned as a musician, topping the bills on entertainment nights and touring the region. Men and women, fae and fiend, swooned for his melodic tunes, and he was held in high regard. Little did he know, with every chord he strummed, Nyx grew in power. In just these few paragraphs, we have managed to encompass some major features from both Bard and Warlock. We took a twist on the term rock god, and we've even offered the DM the chance to create a big bad evil guy for Schlack when Nyx gets their corporeal body. So let's break down just what features and traits Schlack would have on his character sheet. Of course, as a lead guitarist and vocalist, he'd have proficiencies in both performance and persuasion. For our Eldritch Invocations, we can only select one from our level 1 choices because, well, we're only level 2. Now, the list I'm looking at on RPGbot.net doesn't have anything that screams Zhlak, so we'll go with Agonizing Blast to deal more damage with our Eldritch Blast, and Grasp of Hader so we can pull the target 10 feet towards us and hopefully get some melee damage in with our finesse weapons. If we were level 3 in Warlock, then we could get our Tome choice. If we had that, I would actually choose something that's detrimental to Zhlak, just for character. I would choose Aspect of the Moon from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which means we don't need to sleep and we can't be put to sleep by magical means, which would fit our rockstar persona. However, it describes that to gain the benefits of a long rest, you need to spend all 8 hours doing some light activity, whether that be reading your Book of Shadows or keeping watch. So the DM could really screw you over if they decide to interrupt those 8 hours. It is when we choose our Bard College that we can flesh out the character a lot more. Zhlak is going to be part of the College of Whispers, and here's why. At level 3, you get Words of Terror. You learn to infuse innocent-seeming words with an insidious magic that can inspire terror. If you speak to a humanoid alone for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to see paranoia and fear into its mind. At the end of the conversation, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or be frightened of you or another creature of your choice. The target is frightened in this way for an hour until it's attacked or damaged, or until it witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. With our minor celebrity status partnered with our bulky persuasion chat, it's highly likely that an NPC would love to come and have a conversation with us, meaning it will give us ample time to effectively use Words of Terror. At level 6, you get Mantle of Whispers. At 6th level, you gain the ability to adopt a humanoid's persona. When a humanoid dies within 30 feet of you, you can magically capture its shadow using your reaction. You retain this shadow until you use it or finish a long rest. You can use that shadow as an action. When you do so, it vanishes, magically transforming into a disguise that appears on you. You now look like a dead person, but healthy and alive. Thanks RPGbot.net, that's good, thank you. This disguise lasts for 1 hour or until you end it as a bonus action. Again, we're going to use our minor celebrity status here. If we can get an enemy or maybe even like a dignitary alone, and then you or the party can unalive them, you can steal their shadow and adopt their persona to get you into places that you might not have access to. This also really fits in with our backstory, being that Nyx was once a shadow. At level 14, you get Shadow Lore. At level 14, you gain the ability to weave dark magic into your words and tap into a creature's deepest fears. As an action, you magically whisper a phrase that only one creature of your choice within 30 feet of you can hear. The target must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. It automatically succeeds if it doesn't share the language with you or it can't hear you. On a successful saving throw, your whispers sound like unintelligible mumbling and has no effect. If the target fails its saving throw, it is charmed by you for the next 8 hours or until you or your allies attack or damage it. It interprets the whispers as a description of its most mortifying secret. Whilst I don't fully understand the phrasing of this, you tell the target its deepest fears and then it's charmed by you, surely it should be frightened that you know it and it should want to follow you through fear and not adoration. Anyway, it's another social interaction that our Bardlock can benefit from, and it fits in with our pact. We are keeping a deep secret that we have no musical talent, and we are sworn to a dark deity to gift us it. So we should get to know other people's dark secrets as well. And that is how I would build a level 5 human Bardlock with justifiable features that, as a dungeon master, I would happily have at my table. Have you ever built a Bardlock? Let me know down below all the features that you thought were most important in building the character. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next session.